Mike Dell's World number 283 for Thanksgiving, November 23rd, 2017. And happy Thanksgiving to those of you in the United States or outside the United States who celebrate. And today, actually, I spent the morning recording and editing the next episode of Fast Food History, which you'll be able to get tomorrow morning. So the day after Thanksgiving, you can listen all about Little Caesars Pizza. And I'm finding that I'm having a nostalgic streak, and not just because of the history of fast food, but nostalgia back to the old days of podcasting, back when I used to, not read, but, heavily script episodes and heavily plan and then spend a lot of time editing and all that stuff. And, podcasting about something that is not tech related and, not just me blabbing into a microphone has brought back some of that. I found myself actually cutting ums out of the recording this morning. It was rather crazy. My friend Dave Jackson over at schoolofpodcasting.com and also works for our competitor, Libsyn. Our competitor, Blueberry's competitor, my company that I work for. But anyway, Dave and I, do sort of the same sort of show. He does, he's a lot better at it than I am, but anyway, he does School of Podcasting, and he always says that to do a podcast properly, figure it's going to be about 4 times the amount of podcast to the amount of time it takes to do it. Kind of our 4-to-1 ratio. So if you're going to do a 15-minute podcast, it's probably going to take you an hour to do it. I blew you away, Dave. It took me about 2.5 hours to do a 15-minute podcast today. So maybe I'm overdoing it, but that's all right. This whole fast food history podcast is kind of an exercise in me not taking my own advice. So, it's been a lot of fun, though, and I think it's going to continue to be a lot of fun because I'm learning all kinds of cool stuff. So, I learned a lot, of course, pizza and all that at Little Caesars. It's, nowadays it's hot and ready stuff, and it's pretty simple, pretty, not that exciting, not bad. It's awesome, but the thing I found surprising while researching this podcast, this episode, was all the information about Mike Ilitch and the fact that Detroit has such a big influence on pizza and in the States. You always think of New York pizza, or you always think of Chicago pizza. But Detroit has its own style pizza, and, Little Caesars is responsible for that being nationwide or worldwide, but, they don't really say that it's Detroit style, but that is Detroit style. Their pan pizza, their 8-corner pizza, that's more or less a Detroit style thing, and it was just interesting listening to, not listening, reading about it and then listening to me talk about it, but it was great. Learning all that stuff. So I think that's what's going to keep me really interested in that podcast. So anyway, and talking about Thanksgiving, later today I'm going out to my folks. Kind of the tradition. Mom, Dad like to make the turkey and all that. We all go out there and get all, as another friend of mine says, fed up. But it should be a good time and good food as always. Weather today's kind of nice here, actually. Sun's out a little bit, and it's only 36 degrees, but, that's Traverse City in November. And we could be having a snowstorm, which does happen a lot on Thanksgiving. So this year, no big snowstorm. Kathy went downstate yesterday and to her mom's house, and she's on her way back here pretty soon, and then we'll head out to mom and dad's. Stop and pick up my 90-year-old grandmother and go out there and eat some turkey. So hopefully, whatever you like to do on Thanksgiving, if you're in the United States, I hope you get to do it today. And, very thankful for you guys listening and thankful for pretty much, everything. Life is good so far, anyway. My 51, almost 52 years, can't complain too much. Well, I do complain, but, first world problems, that kind of thing. Let's see. The only other thing interesting that I did yesterday is since Kathy was gone, I decided I would upgrade her computer. So I put a SSD drive in her Mac Mini. It's a fairly new Mac Mini, and I have to tell you that whoever thought up how that computer's put together, basically they put the hard drive on the floor and then they built the computer around it, because it is an absolute booger to get to that hard drive. There's all kinds of little parts and wires and this and that's, and of course, when I took out the motherboard, I pulled too hard and broke a cable, and I was like, oh gosh, now I'm screwed, and I thought, oh man, I don't know, this thing's not going to run for a while. I'm going to have to get parts or just go get a new computer. What am I going to do? And then I did a little research and found out it was just for the IR sensor. It's the little Apple remote. And she never uses that, so who cares? So I put it all back together, and it's running real good. I was a little disappointed when we first got the computer because it's, got a pretty slow hard drive in it. And that hard drives make the difference. So, and now it's got an SSD. The thing's as fast as this iMac here, and, cute little package, and knock on wood, it'll keep on going. So, with that, everybody have a great remainder of the evening. Hope you didn't eat too much. Enjoy football. There's a football game on. Of course, by the time you get this, the Detroit Lions would have already played, and that's not really going to be a football game, I don't think. They traditionally play the early game on Thanksgiving, and then I don't know who's playing the late game. I don't watch too much professional football. I watch college football. So anyway, tomorrow I'm officially off work, but I'm actually going to work a half a day because I find that on these long holiday weekends, if I don't put in a little time, my Mondays or Tuesdays, as the case may be ridiculous. So I'm going to put in a half a day, and then I'll just cut out early sometime next week and make up for it. So anyway, everybody have a great one. Talk to you tomorrow.